Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing two fragrances for you guys. MMASI, we have Into Me for women and Into Me for men. I am really excited to review these for you guys. I've had these in my collection for a few months and I've been super enjoying these. So if you'd like to know what I think, then keep watching. For transparency purposes, this brand did send me these fragrances for free to review. I think this brand is exceptional. I've really been enjoying them. I'm going to be reviewing two fragrances, so this video will probably be on the longer side. So I'm going to give you a little TLDR. First things first, I think one of the best things about this brand is their wearability, but without sacrificing some beautiful artistry and something that feels like you're getting a well put together luxurious experience. I like how both of these fragrances are unique in their own way, but they still smell like something that's approachable, beautiful, and very special. Also, something else that's wonderful about this brand, if you are looking to support Black-owned brands and women-owned brands, this is both a Black-owned and women-owned fragrance brand, and I always think it's super important to support brands like that, on top of them just being exceptional fragrances. So I wanted to make sure that I showcase that. So a little TLDR about both of these fragrances. This is a beautiful ozonic, very effervescent, light, gorgeous fragrance for men. It is most definitely easily worn fragrance for women as well. Even though it is marketed for men, I can see women really enjoying it. It has a light freshness to it, a crispness to it from specific aromatics and citruses, and I like how it smells really sexy on the skin, but it's also very easy. I love it when fragrances have a beautiful salinity to them, especially when it has a nice kind of level of citrus without the sparkle, without the acidity. You're getting the scent of the citrus, you're getting a lot of smell of the pepper. There's a beautiful grassy vetiver in here. It's really beautiful, but what I like most about it is how effortless and confident it smells on the skin. So if you're looking for an everyday scent that you can wear that has a bright crispness to it, but also has some gorgeous ozonic qualities, if those are the types of fragrances you like, then Into Me for Men is fantastic. Now, if you're looking for a fragrance that is both soft and sensual and beautiful, that has a maturity to it, but also has a sweet, playful flirtiness to it, Into Me for Women is gorgeous. I like how the playfulness in here definitely feels a little bit more charming and a little bit less juvenile. There's a beautiful sweetness to this fragrance from the almond, but at the end of the day, it definitely has a well put together confidence from it that I definitely find to be very appealing, very mature, very sophisticated, and very sexy. I also really like this fragrance a lot because it has a marshmallow-like fluffiness to it that doesn't feel like it's too sticky, too sweet, but it's very soft and sensual, but at the same time, it's very sweet and sexy. So I think that this is a beautiful juxtaposition between the type of fragrance you might like if you're looking for a daytime, playful, flirty fragrance, but you also like those more sophisticated, mature, and elegant, very sexy fragrances. It's a perfect marriage of the two. So that's my little TLDR of both of the scents, but I want to really get into the nitty-gritty because even though that these fragrances are very easy, very approachable, I want to talk about these because I genuinely really like these. But I know some people don't like when I talk forever about fragrances, thus the little blurb at the beginning of the video. And I think I'm going to try doing that more if people only want like a little summary of what I think about fragrances. We're going to first start off, I love the packaging. So these bottles are made in Italy. I love the attention to detail when it comes down to presentation, especially with newer brands, especially with established brands like the bigger designer houses and more established luxury niche houses. You really see these brands having their own bottles, their own packaging, their own distinction. So when a new brand comes onto the market, I get really excited to see an attention to detail with everything, not just the quality of the fragrance, but the quality and the meticulous craftsmanship when it comes down to the execution of their packaging. And when you're looking at spending $150 for a bottle, having a good quality packaging helps give you a beautiful experience. And these bottles are gorgeous. The presentation, the boxes are gorgeous. The juice itself is compiled in France, the bottles are made in Italy, and everything is compiled in the United States in New York, and it is flown out to you when you make your order. So that is a little bit about the packaging, but more importantly, let's do a true breakdown of the fragrances. So the first one we're going to talk about is Into Me for her. So the notes in Into Me for her is almond, bergamot, and Jamaican coffee bean in the top. At the heart, you have vanilla, tuberose, jasmine, rose, and patchouli, and at the base, you have cashmere, cocoa, tonka bean, and sandalwood. Now the tonka bean is, I think, what really makes this fragrance a winner in my opinion. And when I think about fragrances that have specific notes and evoke specific kind of feelings and textures on the skin, when you think of softness, when you think of a thick, syrupy, sexy sweetness, when you think of a light, sparkly, effervescent playfulness, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about textures, you have to think about also how those textures smell. So sometimes when you have like a musky powderiness, sometimes they can smell too animalic, too stale, almost like stale lipstick at the bottom of like your grandma's purse after 30 years, which I actually love when fragrances smell like that, but not everybody does, and those are definitely not wearable in every situation for everybody all the time. But tonka bean has this beautiful, just kind of soft, gorgeous, like slightly musky sweetness that has a little touch of kind of like billowy powderiness, just a little bit, that works so well to kind of evoke something velvety, something sweet, something luxurious, but not challenging or intimidating. And what I like most about both of these fragrances is that they smell approachable, they smell gorgeous, they smell like the type of fragrance that you're not going to feel weird about wearing, that people are going to question your tastes in perfumery. You're going to feel confident, you're going to feel sexy, you're going to feel handsome, you're going to feel attractive. These are very well put together fragrances. It's like the person in your office or the person at your school or the person in your friend group that always seems to be meticulously dressed from head to toe. Everything looks well thought out, well put together, just well dressed. Just that's what these fragrances smell like, but there's still a unique quality, a signature to these fragrances that I think is going to be very unique to the brand, and I'm really excited to see and smell. And what I like about that is this approachable, just kind of glamour that both of them have. And the tonka bean is really, in my opinion, what works well. Now, I love almond in fragrance, I love white florals in fragrances, and I like when there are gourmand elements that are used to add a touch of kind of sex appeal and confidence without making it sound too loud and proud. And when you're looking for a type of fragrance to wear every day, maybe to a professional environment, and then maybe you also are going to want to wear it to dinner or to a date, or you're going to want to wear it if you're going out to brunch with your family, this is a great fragrance to invest in if you want to have that type of beautiful, absolutely fantastic, soft, sensual, sophisticated fragrance that is going to work well in a variety of different environments. These are investment fragrances. These are the types of fragrances that you can have in your fragrance collection, in your fragrance wardrobe, in your fragrance rotation that you can wear anytime. And that's what I think is so fantastic about this house, is because a lot of times when I see new houses or fragrance brands and designers come out with scents, they're very kind of short-sighted. They're like, this is the summer scent that you're going to wear when you're vacationing in the Maldives during a monsoon. And those fragrances are gorgeous, and I love the creativity that goes into them, but a lot of times those fragrances aren't very versatile. And there's something to be said about a versatile, very gorgeous, very glamorous, everyday fragrance that you could wear to work, but also wear on a night out, but then also wear if you're going to church, or also wear if you're going to a party. It's appropriate for all occasions. It smells beautiful and well put together, but there's also something about it that's very sexy. And the tonka in here is what, in my opinion, rolls everything together with some beautiful gourmand elements of the coffee and the vanilla and the cocoa. I don't know, I was going to say the tonka again. I love the fact that you get little hits of coffee in the background, and you get little hits of vanilla, and you get little hits of cocoa. They're fun little things that you smell, but you mostly get this really beautiful, sweet, soft, sensual florals and a beautiful tonka, and it's just really, really gorgeous. I would say the rose in this almost smells a little bit fruity, like a little bit like a berry, which I really like. There's just something about this that's really gorgeous. So what I like most about this fragrance is its wearability. Again, versatility, but also the fact that you can close your eyes and wear this fragrance and it doesn't matter where you're going. In most cases, it's going to be appropriate. What I also like is if you're the type of person that loves white florals, that loves powdery, mature, really sophisticated fragrances, but you're in a professional environment and you're not usually capable of wearing those fragrances because maybe people around you aren't the hugest fan of powdery white floral fragrances. Usually those aren't professional appropriate. I think that this fragrance is going to work really well because tonka is the note that you're getting this from. You're not really getting it from iris or anything like that. It doesn't smell stale. It smells fresh and bright, but at the same time it still smells very sweet and floral and beautiful. Now, what I love a lot about this fragrance is how it's designed to basically perform and project. This isn't going to be a beastly fragrance. So this isn't a fragrance designed to fill a room, but this fragrance is designed to work really well with people that are within your inner circle. So if you wear this scent, if somebody is social distancing, they're going to be able to pick up whiffs of your fragrance. They're going to be able to pick up soft florals, some beautiful kind of little sniffs of vanilla, but it's not going to overpower and suffocate them. It's going to be a really nice, gorgeous experience, which also makes this great for a professional setting. But as people are closer to you, they're going to pick up more of the beautiful tonka and the almond and the jasmine and the rose. It just gets a lot more deeper and sensual and richer the closer you get. Longevity for this fragrance on my skin, I've been wearing this mostly during the winter, and we've been a little on the colder side. I get on my skin about 6 to 8 hours, which I think is really, really good. So overall, this has been great. This was actually one of my most worn scents last month. I've really been enjoying this, and I think it's just something really gorgeous, really elegant, but also very easy to wear. There's an effortless sophistication about this fragrance that I find to be really beautiful, and I also feel very confident when I wear this scent as well. I'm excited to talk about Into Me for him because this is a style of perfumery and a type of fragrance that I love that I don't talk about too much. So the notes in this, at the top, you have bergamot, lime, pink pepper. You guys know how I love pink pepper. You have grapefruit, you have jasmine, watermelon, Indian ginger, sandalwood, amber, patchouli, and cedar. This, on my skin, smells ozonic and slightly salty and aromatic and boozy, but boozy kind of like a gin and tonic. And I love those fragrances. So you could probably describe this as something easy, and again, more daytime, more summertime, but I like how there's a crispness to this, and I like how there's kind of like a citrus zest, kind of bright, almost bitterness to this fragrance. And those types of fragrances work very well year round. So if you like lighter fragrances, if you've never been a fan of heavy, woody, aromatic fragrances, leathers, or tobaccos, and you've always liked more fresh, blue, green aromatic fragrances, this is a good one to invest for year round. Now, the reason why I'm excited to talk about this fragrance is because it is a little more on the ozonic side, and ozonic fragrances I think smell amazing. And I find the more substantial ozonic fragrances to be more marketed in the men's designer sector. One of my favorite ozonic fragrances, and I actually don't have it in my collection, I keep trying to find it, is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. That flanker is gorgeous. I don't know why I haven't bought it yet. It is gorgeous. And another ozonic fragrance that I love that's more damp and dusty and a little bit more conceptual is Sacred Water from the Harmonist. Those are two examples of more minerally ozonic fragrances. I would say that Sacred Water is more damp and cold, and obviously Light Blue Sun for Homme is more bright and sunshiny. But there's something to be said about those types of fragrances that are more sophisticated, that have more aromatics for them. And the addition of ginger in here and cedar I find to be fantastic. Now with this fragrance, like Into Me for women, there's a lot of different notes in here, but you're getting an overall feeling. Like Into Me for women, you get this kind of soft, sweet, floral, but then you get the beautiful kind of sweet powderiness of the Tonka, you're getting a beautiful aromatic, but also citrus bitterness and a little tiny bit of spiciness. So you're getting the pink pepper. It's not a super spicy pink pepper, which I like. I do usually like them, but that would way throw off the balance of this. The ginger is more of the flavor of ginger, so it's not so much like you're getting the spicy zestiness of the ginger. It's more like a ginger juice and less of a ginger spice. And that works really well with the pink pepper. And what that does is it adds a bit of a clarity and helps tame a little bit of the saltiness that sometimes ozonic fragrances can have, but it also helps add a brightness and a clarity to this fragrance. And I really like how you get the lime. And again, I kind of talked about before, when you use citruses in a fragrance, you get different components, and each different part of the citrus, like fruit, has different components and works differently in the formula of a fragrance. So you have obviously the juice, which can be bright and acidic and astringent, and sometimes it can be juicy, and sometimes it can be sparkly, and sometimes it can smell really sweet. And if it's a specific, citrus, like say bergamot, bergamot's an Earl Grey tea. So if you're the type of person that drinks a lot of Earl Grey tea with, let's say, cream and sugar, it might evoke a bit of creaminess, so like a creamy citrus. If you have a lemon, sometimes lemon can be very sour. If you have grapefruit, it can be very bitter. Blood orange smells like a concentrated orange juice. Less bright and citrusy and more sweet and juicy. So each citrus has its own unique way. Lime I find to be fantastic because I find it to be sweet without the addition of sweetness. And lime is also very distinctive. And what I like specifically about lime in this fragrance is the ozonic quality of this, and the little bit of grapefruit in this, this evokes this idea of like the most perfect gin and tonic you could ever drink. There's not a booziness to this fragrance, but if you guys have ever had a gin and tonic, kind of like how gin tastes, and then the tonic, kind of like that bitterness from the tonic, how that kind of like washes over your palate and cleanses everything, and it's bright and it's a little bit bitter, but bitter in a good way, not bitter in a like bad way. And it's also kind of aromatic depending on the quality of your tonic and the quality of your gin. And then you might have like some lime zest in there. Now some people will actually spritz a lime in there. I actually just like the rind of the lime. And so you get some of the oil and you get some of the beautiful citrus flavors without a lot of the juice. I feel like that dilutes the flavor of my gin and tonics. So this doesn't smell like a gin and tonic, but if you think about the composition of a gin and tonic, something light, something bitter, something aromatic, something, in some cases, depending on, again, the quality of your gin and the quality on your tonic, it has kind of like a mouthfeel to it, but it has a clarity to it too. It's a palate cleanser, and that's what this fragrance is on the skin. Now, the other thing I really love about ozonic fragrances, specifically for me, is when I think about this like slightly more sunshiny, bright ozonic fragrances, they remind me of the idealistic way skin would smell. There's something very confident and easy about those fragrances. There's an effortless just attractiveness to them. And when paired with the correct balance of other notes, there's something that's just very gorgeous. And they're very easy, but they're not in a way boring, because easy doesn't mean boring. There's a lot that goes into these fragrances that make them really fun to smell, but they don't smell fussy. They just smell very well put together, but it was done in an effortless way. I specifically think that the base notes of this are working more towards creating an experience of aromatics, distinctive woods, distinctive patchouli, and a very specific amber, which to me is more resinous and less warm. I like the lime in this a lot. I like the grapefruit in this a lot. I like its brightness. Even though there's citruses in here, it doesn't smell like a citrus freshie. I like that it smells more ozonic on the skin, but it doesn't have like a stale dampness to it, which I enjoy in fragrances, don't get me wrong. But to me, that wouldn't be easy. To me, that wouldn't fit with this brand. And to me, that wouldn't fit with the experience that this brand wants to bring to people, which is something that is easy to wear, that anyone could wear anytime, any place, that would also be attractive. And there's something to be said for fragrances that are attractive and easy to wear, but also have a unique take that could be considered signature scent worthy. Now, the fact that there is that kind of slight booziness, almost like a gin booziness, not like a rum booziness or a whiskey booziness. There's no maltiness in this. It doesn't smell alcohol-y like a vodka type fragrance would be, or like a champagne-y like fragrance would be. Again, if you're familiar with gin and tonics, you'll know exactly what I'm saying when I'm saying that the slight booziness in the background that this fragrance has is evocative of a gin and tonic. It's not front and center. Again, this does not smell like a gin and tonic, but the composition of this fragrance and how it plays on the skin is very similar to how a gin and tonic smells. The different flavors of a gin and tonic are played in this with bitterness and citruses and aromatics. It works very well on the skin. It's very easy, and there's something about it that's very sexy and confident inducing. And what I like most about this fragrance is the fact that it just smells so much better on skin than you would think. Like when I first smelled it, I was kind of like, I can't wait to smell this on my skin. You get a little bit more juiciness of the citrus when you smell it like this. And then when you spray it on your skin, you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. The reason why I don't wear this as much, to be perfectly honest, is because I think this fragrance is going to perform much better in a little bit hotter weather. I think that this is the type of fragrance that will most definitely work in colder weather, and I have enjoyed this. The citrus in here, again, since it's not super bright, it's more of a deep lime. Those work in colder weather very well, but I think the true beauty of this fragrance is really going to shine in spring and summer. And weather in Florida, let me give you a little something. Weather in Florida is fun. So like 2 days ago, we were in the 90s. In 2 days, we're gonna be in the 20s. Welcome to Florida. It's so weird here. Well, northern central Florida, I'm still getting used to the weather here. It's been a ride. So I'm waiting for it to be slightly warmer to wear this more frequently. It is gorgeous to wear. I stopped wearing this when it hit the 30s, mostly because there was also other fragrances that I wear when it's like that cold. But I did wear this when I was in the 40s, and it did smell really beautiful. It smelled like really crisp, and I really like that. But I do think that this is going to perform even better, be very refreshing, very crisp. That bitterness is going to be just perfect and revitalizing and energizing for very hot weather. So I'm probably going to be wearing this one a lot in like the spring and summer. But what I also like about this fragrance too is, again, how effortless it smells and how easy this is to wear in any occasion. This is another fragrance that you could wear anytime. To work, you could wear this out if you wanted to go on a date. You could wear this to church. You could wear this to a party. This isn't going to be the type of fragrance to be a beastly, crowd-inducing, attention-grabbing fragrance, but there is a silent, handsome, attractive confidence to this fragrance that I think would be fantastic for environments like that, if those are the types of fragrances you prefer to wear. Again, an effortless confidence with this fragrance I find to be really nice. And I do love it when fragrances have that kind of gorgeous, kind of slightly salty, ozonic quality to them, especially when they're balanced properly. And I like how this one is balanced with citruses that are a little bit more bitter, a little bit less sweet and juicy, and that kind of adds to the beautiful experience that this smells like on the skin. It's just really, really gorgeous. I would say that this is an aromatic fragrance, but not like your stereotypical herbal, like violet leaf and lavender, and here's some cilantro. Maybe there's some cumin in there. Those are all fantastic. I love those. But there's something nice about something crisp, but also a little bit of ozonic and bright, but not stereotypically fresh. The ginger in here again and the pink pepper add just a little bit of spiciness to give you a little bit of zing on your skin. And I like that you're getting a lot of the nuances of those notes without them overpowering and taking over. So this is a really gorgeous fragrance. I really love it. I've been enjoying it. I will definitely be wearing this more because these are definitely fragrances I like wearing a lot. I don't talk about them too much, but they are something that I think are really sexy and very easy to wear. And again, I like how this one is a very approachable, it's not intimidating, it's not challenging, but it's unique enough where if you wanted to wear something that not everyone is going to smell like, but you still didn't want to smell like people are going to question your life choices by what you're smelling like or the fragrance you choose to wear. This is a great one to wear. It is gorgeous. And the same level of, in regards to longevity, 6 to 8 hours, and the projection is the same. You get about, I'd say, social distancing, you're going to pick up a little bit more of the citrus. It's going to be a little bit more bitter, but again, bitter more as a flavor profile, positive experience. It kind of cuts through some of the woods and kind of works in a way to make you smell fresh and revitalizing and alive, and not so much like, what are you wearing? And as you get closer, you're getting a little bit more of the spiciness, a little bit more of the woods, and you get a little bit more of the aromatic qualities of everything. I think bitter fragrances, kind of like sharp fragrances, there are times where sharpness is wanted and times when sharpness is not wanted. Same thing with sour, same thing with spicy. There's something about specific types of notes and specific types of way fragrances smell that are wanted and not wanted. And with fragrances that have this kind of bright, fresh crispness, the bitter to me kind of acts almost, instead of like an acidity, it acts in a way that adds a clarity, a lightness to a fragrance, what makes it more wearable in more situations. And that's what I really enjoy about this fragrance. I think it's really, really nice. I also like that it smells just like sexy skin. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's so Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've had the opportunity to try any of these fragrances, I'd love to know what you guys think, positive or negative. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I will see you next time. Bye.